Hi there, it is Nick County here from Success Dynamics Institute, and I'm very excited to be sharing with you in this webinar the secrets of subconscious wealth creation. All right, so we call this 7-minute money mindset. Now, this is an interactive webinar. All right, there's a couple of things I need you to get right up front. I call these the 3 gets. I need you to go and get a drink. You know, we're going to be going for about 90 minutes or so make sure you've got some water. So that's the first thing. You need to get something to write on. A piece of paper's fine. Grab a pen. You need to get yourself in the right state, in the right headspace to identify subconscious blockages to creating wealth. And if there was one more get, I'd say get rid of distractions. If you have any other web pages open while we are on the webinar here, that's going to slow down your internet bandwidth and might make the sound or the picture come through a bit choppy for you. And if we hit maximum capacity on the webinar with the system and you get kicked out, you won't be able to get back in. And the thing that will cause you to get kicked out is having other web pages open. So get rid of all those distractions, turn your phone to silent, switch off Facebook. Now, a couple of things that you need to know about me if this is your first webinar with me, if I talk fast, okay? So don't ask me to slow down. I've got a lot of content to get through. I'd rather get through it than not get through it if we had to choose. And if one of us needs to adjust the speed, I'm going to ask you to think faster and listen faster than me slowing down. If you're calling in from some other country, what you'll need to do is accept the fact that I have an Australian accent. Just be cool with that, okay? I'm going to talk fast, I'm going to be speaking English, and I'm going to be having fun. All right, so you should prepare yourself for some fun as well. Now, I'm actually going to close down the presentation here for a moment and just jump into my Dropbox and pull up a document that you should have all received with our automated emails, SDI, products, money mindset report. So let's just bring that sucker up on the screen and go back to the first page. Okie dokie, and we can close that down. So you should have got something that looks very exactly like this in the confirmation email, the first email that came out about the webinar, okay? The one that said, okay, you're in, right? And then said, here's what you're going to learn. Right down the bottom, PS, here's a link to download the Money Mindset Survey Report. Have a look up the top here for a second where the arrow's going. It's page 1 of 141. This thing is massive, okay? This is not like some little 2-page pretend ebook some people put out. This is, without any personally identifying information, this is the full survey results from my Money Mindset survey that I did that went for around about 12 months. Okay, so there's absolute gold in here, especially if you are a business owner or a marketer, maybe online marketing. The insights that you gain from this will allow you to create incredible products to serve people, and you also have a deep insight into what people need and want, okay, what their fears and frustrations are around money and all those kind of things. It's incredible. So this, and what I've also done is I've translated or summarized the information here. If we just kind of scroll down a bit under each section. For example, this is the what are you most passionate about in life section. I've turned it into a bar chart for you, okay? So going from most to least, it's just absolutely incredibly valuable information. And I say at the front of this, I had no intentions of giving this away because I created this originally for myself. Yeah, this information was for me as market research in my company. And one day something just changed in my mind, and I thought, you know what, it's better than keeping this to myself because this is really valuable information. This will help people overcome their own roadblocks when they can see that it's not your fault, everyone else has the same things going on, that I decided to give it away, okay? But we're going to talk about this, present this information in a more engaging, interesting way in the webinar, but the bulk of what we're going to kind of go through is in that 141-page report, okay? So let's just bring our slides back up on the screen and get this party started. Okay, now, because we are talking about money, I have to put this up on the screen, right? So legal disclaimer. What this one says is I am not a lawyer. I'm not a financial planner. I'm in no way a financial advisor. I've not taken your personal objectives and financial situation and needs into account and all that usual stuff, okay? Any decisions you make as a result of watching this are 100% your responsibility, your choice. I'm not making any recommendations, no financial recommendations, anything along, no business recommendations, anything along those lines throughout this webinar, okay? If you want to get some financial advice, go and see a proper licensed financial planner or investment advisor or someone along those lines, okay? So if we're all good with that, if that's cool, just type the word cool into the chat box for me so that I know that you agree to the legal disclaimer. It's typically the only webinar where I actually put something like this in, but it's pretty important because I don't want to, have anyone freaking out with the information we're going to cover with you tonight. So thanks everyone for typing in cool and so fast as well. That's very, very helpful. Okay, now I'm also going to assume that if you stay from this point on the webinar that you automatically agree to this, all right? So that is, that's my assumption, that therefore is your assumption. If you don't disappear right now and leave, then you have agreed to this as well. Fantastic. All right, let's rock and roll. Okay, you have 10 seconds, all right? I have, whilst preparing for this webinar, hacked into your bank account. This is pretend, by the way, don't freak out. I've hacked in metaphorically into your bank account, stolen all your money, and strapped it to a bomb. That's going to go off in 10 seconds, and then you lose everything. Someone says, sweet, awesome. That's going to go off, and you lose everything, right? Your entire net worth, unless you get the activity that I have for you on the next slide, if you get it 100% correct, all right? Now, on the next screen, I have numbers all over the screen in random order, starting from 1 and continuing higher, 1, 2, 3, up and up and up, right? And I won't tell you how high they go. Your task is to find the numbers in order. So first you find number 1, then you find number 2, then you find number 3, then you find number 4, all right? Don't try and find the highest number first. Like if the highest number was 80, don't look for 80. Find number 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, etc., etc. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to do this, and then I'm going to change the slide back. Okay? So, if we all understand the instructions, 10 seconds, time starts now. And time's up. What I want you to do is go ahead and type in the number that you got up to. Okay, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to do that. Type in the number that you got up to. Man, we have more and more people joining us all the time here. So I've got 14, I've got 12, 15, 6. What else we got? 11 and 15. Okay, cool. Someone did it twice in 10 seconds. 4. Mine only blew up. Very nice. Someone else is bringing their A game here. Going to keep me entertained, I can tell. And someone else says, couldn't see the numbers. Okay. Not sure what happened there, but that's interesting too, I suppose. Okay. We're going to do this again. All right. We're going to do the exact same activity again. So keep in mind what you got the first time. Just click back over to this slide. And this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you how this works. If we divide the screen into 4 corners, number 1 you'll find in the top left-hand corner. Number 2 is in the top right-hand corner. Number 3 is in the bottom right-hand corner. And number 4 is in the bottom left-hand corner. Okay, and then it continues around like that, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a clockwise fashion. Okay, in a clockwise fashion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you another 10 seconds to do exactly the same activity again. And this time I want you to start from 1 again. And now that you understand the pattern, see how much faster you can do this. Time starts now. Okay, and stop for me. Alrighty. What I want you to do now is type in the first number and then put ... and then the second number. Okay, so the first number, then ... then the second number. So go ahead and do that for me now. First number, ... second number. So someone's put 19, that's Sam. Sam, do first number, ... second number, so I know what we've got there. So I've got 12 to 21, all right, so that's almost 100% improvement. From 1 to 40, that's a massive improvement. That's that's a 4,000% improvement there, Ray. From 15 to 21, that's about a 30% improvement. From 4 to 30, wow, that's huge. I can't even do the maths on that. 6 to 18 is a 300% improvement. And June says there were two people there. I got that. I was just being cheeky. So person number 1 got 11 to 21, which is that's like a 95% improvement. And 15 to 27, which again is probably around about a 90% improvement. Okay. So and this is just massive, right? Think about it. Why are you able to get? Some people are getting like 90, 100% improvement. Some people are getting like, you know, a 4,000% improvement. It's just incredible, yeah? And I get these kind of variations every time I do this. Why is it that you're able to get this massive variance in results from first time to second time? Same activity, find the numbers from 1 ranging, you know, as high as you can, counting in order, and same amount of time, 10 seconds. Go ahead and type your answer in, okay? So Ray says you showed us how to do it. Yes, I did show you how to do it. Get some other answers coming through. What do we got? Why is it so much faster and easier the second time? You know what to look for, says Alex. That is correct. What else we got? Anyone got any other ideas here? Flow and focus we've got, and because we know the pattern, if that's the Paul that I think it is, then you should definitely know the answer to this. That's right. Now, the answer that I present is when you can see the pattern. You know, I showed you the pattern, just like Paul said. When you can see the pattern, success comes faster and easier. And this is a cross-contextually true statement. Gina got it as well. The pattern is identified. I hope I pronounced your name right there, Gina. If I am, you know, you can tell me digitally how awesome I am. And if not, just feel free to slap me down next time you see me. When you can see the pattern, success comes faster and easier. Cross-contextually true. It means it's true everywhere that it's applied. Think about any area of your life. Any area of your life, whether it be business, marketing, health, relationships, there are patterns to success in those areas. And when you can't see the pattern, then you're in trial and error, where you just try and figure it out and you know, hope for the best. I call that trial and terror. Okay. And the opposite of that is you can see the pattern, you map that pattern, all right, and then you install it into your own life so that success comes faster and easier. Now that makes sense in that simple exercise that we just did. What about in the context of your money mindset? Well, all will be revealed as we continue. Okay. On the webinar, we have 2 objectives. Objective number 1 is I'm going to reveal the hidden destructive patterns in your mindset that are destroying your chances at financial success. And objective number 2 is I'll then go on to give you a foolproof system to take complete control of your subconscious patterns right now so you can quantum leap your mindset and skyrocket your results in every area of your life. Now we're talking about money mindset. This will absolutely smash your money mindset in a good way. What I mean by smash is help you get exactly what you want out of life in the areas of finances and wealth creation. But you can also apply this to any other part of your life. So it's time to get ready, okay? We've got a lot to cover. I'm going to be talking fast. That's okay. We've already agreed to that. Everything I'm going to share with you is based on science, psychology, and the results of my 12-month-long survey that I call the Money Mindset Survey. There's way more than I can cover in an hour or an hour and a half. So if you're happy to stick around to the end, I'll show you how you can work closely with me if you find that appealing, okay? I'll show you how I can help you implement all of this in your life so you can get where you want to go faster, okay? You want to go further and faster? I'll show you how to do it. So take notes and stick around to the end because I'll give you a copy of my slides, and I am recording this. I'll give you a copy of the recording as well if you remind me at the end. We'll do some Q&A at the end if you feel so inclined to want to ask me a question about what's come up. Hang around to the end. I'm notoriously bad at remembering to give a copy of the slides and the recording, so it is now on you to remind me that I said I'd do that, okay? Hang around to the end and remind me. So let's just jump straight in. I want to talk about, from the survey report, what I found to be the 7 massive money mindset time bombs. And think about what a time bomb does. And you see it in the movies, every bad guy should not be using a time bomb. They should be setting a 5-second timer, but they always set 10 minutes so that the hero can defuse the bomb when there's 1 second left on the clock, right? So a time bomb ticks down until it explodes. I'm suggesting that hidden away in your subconscious mind right now, there are 7 massive money mindset time bombs that if you don't address each of these, at some point in your life, they're going to explode and that it's going to muck everything up for you big time. All right? So let's talk about what they are and how to diffuse these time bombs. High-level overview. Time bomb number 1. Now, I'm going to use the word you here. Right? This is just for explanation. If one of these don't apply to you, then don't take it on. Don't assume that I'm talking directly about you. I'm talking about the collective you. Although if it does apply to you, you probably want to sit up and pay attention. Time bomb number 1 is you have no idea how money and your mindset really work, right? How they work together, or how to control them. Time bomb number 2, you have intense fear when it comes to money, risk, and failure, and often success. Money mindset time bomb number 3 is you're stuck working 9 to 5 on someone else's dream, right? So you've got a job. Or worse, often worse, when I talk to people, is 5 to 9 on your own dream. Most people in business get into it with the idea that they're going to build an awesome business, make a lot of money, and have a great lifestyle. And the reality for most people who don't do what I do, I actually do those things, but people who never actually crack it end up, instead of working 9 to 5, they trade it for 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. or even later than that, in a lot of instances, working on their own dream that they never actually achieve, and just end up wasting all their time, energy, and money, and it kind of ruins their life, and that can be worse. Money mindset time bomb number 4 is you have little to no savings, and you probably won't have enough to retire on, especially if you are an Australian. Okay, it's very, very scary, the statistics around that. Money mindset time bomb number 5 is people who didn't know what they were doing. So as a result, you're now struggling financially. Money mindset time bomb number 6, you rely on debt because there's always more months at the end of your money. Yeah, so by the time the month is over, you have run out of cash. Money mindset time bomb number 7 is you feel like a fraud, like you're somehow not good enough. You don't believe you really deserve it or that you'll ever really get there. And as a bonus, money mindset time bomb number 8, if you want to change any of these things, the only way that you know how is gradual, step-by-step progress over time, which is slow, boring, and ineffective, and therefore you don't do it. You don't make the change. Right? And you just stay stuck with the other time bombs ticking down until their inevitable explosion, and then, excuse my French, then you're screwed. Okay. So out of those, I'll give you 10 seconds to type in which one scares you the most. Which one scares you the most? Go ahead and type that in for me right now. And what we just covered, which one scares you the most? So Alex says number 7, the feeling like a fraud. Yeah, this is really surprising to me when I went through the results. Is that this is so common that it blew me away. It's one of the reasons that I decided to put this webinar together in the first place. Number 7. So number 3 says 8. Number 8 says Sam. Yep, that there's that you don't know how to change it, so you end up stuck in the pattern. 7 says Paul. 2 says Gina. Gina, I've been screwed, says Marianne. Fair enough. Nothing to retire on, says MJ. Feel like I'll never get there, says Alex. 7 and 3 says Brian, and 7 says Paul. I think Paul said that one again, unless it's another Paul. How many Pauls do we have on the line here? 2 Pauls. Okay, cool, awesome. Paul 1 and Paul 2 are both have the same thing going on. Must be a Paul thing, yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Thanks for sharing that with me. Much appreciated. If that's you, the good news is you're not alone, and it's not your fault. Okay, you were probably programmed to have these time bombs in place at a time before you were able to make the conscious decision as to whether or not you're going to take these things on or not. We'll talk a bit about that as we continue. Let's talk about why people fail with money. Why people fail with money. I'm going to put something up on the screen in a moment. What I want you to do is, as soon as you know what it is, type the word into the chat box for me. So what is that? What can you see on the screen? What is it? Fantastic. So I've got violin, 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 fiddle. Cool. Fiddle. Awesome. Whereabouts are you calling in from, Ray? That's haven't heard it called a fiddle before. That's pretty awesome. So everyone but Ray says violin, Ray says fiddle. You're all correct. Let's imagine that you played Atlanta, Georgia. Awesome. So Ray's from Atlanta, Georgia. Very cool. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. What time is it for you, just out of interest? 3 a.m. My goodness. All right, now I've got to deliver my ass off to make sure that it's worth staying up for or getting up early for. That's fantastic. So let's imagine that you played violin. Yeah. The question is, would you let anyone tune it? Go ahead and type your answer in. Yes or no? Yes or no? 4 a.m. says Ray. Okay, cool. Would you let anyone tune your violin? No, says Paul. Of course not. He's a musician. No, 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 says everyone else. Almost everyone. Ray says yes. Must be a Georgia thing. Okay, cool. It has to be done just right to make music. Yeah. If it's not done just right, then it's going to sound like someone strangling a cat. Have you ever heard someone play a violin that's out of tune? It's shocking, yeah? Absolutely shocking. So let's play the same game again with something else. I'm going to put another picture on the screen. Tell me what this is. Go ahead and type it in as soon as you know. What is that? What's that thing on the screen? Yeah, so that's a brain. That's a brain. Spot on. Well done. No, I couldn't find a picture of the mind because, no one knows where your mind actually sits. So we're going to allow me some artistic license here. I'm going to call that your mind. Okay. Someone says rainbow brain. I'm loving hanging out with you guys tonight. Love it. Fantastic. That's very cool. Your brain, your mind, your most powerful instrument. Yeah. Now, if you had a violin, you would not let anyone tune it because it has to be tuned just right to make music. Otherwise, it just sounds terrible. It doesn't do what it's designed for. Ask yourself, who do you let tune your mind when it comes to money? Who do you let tune your mind when it comes to money? Maybe by now, at this point in your life, you're quite protective about who you let tune your mind when it comes to money. But who have you let tune your mind over the course of your life when it comes to money? I could spend 5, 10, 15 minutes with you and know exactly who has tuned your mind, what they've done, and what needs to be done to untune all of the terrible tuning that they've done. Okay. So go ahead and just kind of have a quick think about it. Type something in. Who or what has tuned your mind when it comes to money over the course of your life? I'll give you 10 seconds to type something in. I really love interaction in webinars. Otherwise, you could just watch a video. Yeah. So we've got parents. Dave Ramsey. I don't know who that is, but hang on. Yeah, he's like some money guru. I think parents. Almost anyone who had an opinion. Parents and friends. Yep. So we've got loads of different answers coming in. Right. It's pretty scary. Parents, siblings, mum, says someone else. You got to stop and think about it. Think about this question in the context of your current financial situation. Okay, we've got parents, siblings in training courses. Yeah, training courses is good if they're good training courses. Yep. So that's you decide to start, making a mind shift, right? In the context of your current financial situation, I'm not saying that it's okay to blame these people or events or situations, but what I am saying is a lot of the time, the financial situation that you find yourself in as a result of programming or conditioning that you picked up at an age before you were able to consciously choose whether or not you're going to take on that information. Yeah? So it's not your fault, but it is now your responsibility to do something about it as an adult. Okay, and that's what I'm here to help you how to do. What I want you to do is type the answer into this as soon as you know what it is. Math question: 5 + 5, 10. That's the Alex that I've only got first names on the screen here, but that's the Alex that I think it is. It's entirely appropriate that you answered first. Very cool. So 10, 10, 10. Someone says 55. Okay, that was a joke. I'm assuming. Hope so. 5 + 5 = 10. Next one. I before E, except Except what? Type your answer in. Ready, set, go. Except after C. Absolutely correct. What goes up? Finish that sentence. What goes up? Must come down. Yes, fantastic. This, as I'm sure you'd agree, is what school taught you. And if you're anything like me, that's about the sum total of what school taught you. Okay. I didn't really learn much more than that at school. I was actually really good at school, but if I stop and think about it now, that's about it, really. Right? So that's what school taught you. Let's change channels. I want you to finish these sentences. Type it in. Okay, this might take you a little bit longer than the 2 seconds, but go ahead and type it in. 2 all beef patties. Go ahead and type the rest of that in for me. 2 all beef patties. Someone says, yuck. Yep, I agree. Someone's onto it. Yep, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, toxic waste, cardboard, and I don't know, bug bits, blah, blah. Yep. On a sesame seed bun. Yep, someone's got the whole thing. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Next one. Oh, what a feeling. Finish that sentence. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota. That's right. Oh, what a feeling, Toyota. Last one. Just like a chocolate milkshake. Just like a chocolate milkshake. Only crunchy. Yeah, we got 7 Y's after Alex's. That's right. Only crunchy. That's it. You got to stop and ask yourself, did I sit down and make a deliberate effort to learn just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy? You know, this is what the media taught you. Yeah, unless you ever seen the start of The Simpsons? There's always a scene where Bart Simpson is standing inside the schoolroom, he's on detention, and he's writing lines on the board. I will not, blah, blah, blah. I will not, whatever, you know. There's a different thing at the start of every episode. Unless you stood at the board with a deliberate effort and wrote, just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy. Just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy. Just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy. And you did that over and over and over again to drum it into your own head. Unless you made that deliberate conscious effort, then it makes only sense that this information was programmed into you outside of your conscious awareness, and often even without your permission, yeah, your express permission, by watching TV. Advertisers know how to use subliminal techniques to get this locked into your brain so that you have perfect and instantaneous recall. You see the first half of one of these lines, and then you just know the rest off the top of your head. I'll just throw another one at you. Ready? The burgers are better at. Go ahead and type that in and finish that off. Yep, that's right. So we got people just firing off straight away. Hungry Jacks, right? Now, I mean, I don't know if they are or not. I don't eat any of this rubbish, especially Toyotas. I definitely don't eat Toyotas. I don't eat McDonald's. I don't mind Cocoa Pops, but I don't eat them because I'm health conscious. Definitely don't eat Hungry Jacks or any of that stuff. But you just know this stuff off the top of your head. You don't even have to stop and think about it. That should be scary. Let's take it a step further. Step 1, we're taught go to school. Okay? And when we're at school, what are we taught? We're told head down, bum up. I don't know if, Ray, if Americans are familiar with this, so it might be just an Australian saying, head down, bum up. Yeah? Work hard, study hard, focus. Sit up straight, shut up, raise your hand when you want to ask a question, and do what you're told, all right? So that you can get good grades, so you can graduate and go to university, where you're told heads down, bum up, work hard, study hard. You don't have to shut up quite as much at uni, and you don't typically have to raise your hand and ask a question. Often, depending on the course you do, it's a little bit more open, but it's still pretty strict, you know. Work hard, study hard, so you can get good grades, so you can graduate and do what? What do we do when we graduate? Pop your answer in. What's the point? Why do we go to uni? To what? That's right, to get a job, right? And do we want a crappy job? Or do we want a good job? Yeah, we've got a good job, make a good living, right? And then what are you told at work? Heads down, bum up, work hard. You're not told study hard because study's over. You're just told, you know, be a robot, do what you're told, shut up, don't even ask questions. work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 48 weeks a year. You can have 2 to 4 weeks off when we tell you to after you put your application in, which may or may not be denied, so don't expect Christmas off every year. And if you are a good little robot and you do that for 40 years, then we will give you a gold watch and a handshake and say, on your way. You don't get a pension anymore, you know, like you used to, pension for life from your job. And then what do? Step 3 is retire, yeah? And then once we retire, the stereotype is that you jump in a Winnebago or a travel truck, as my wife likes to call them. You throw your golf clubs in the back, the wife knits a sweater, and you drive around Australia or, you know, wherever, and play golf and live out your days in bliss. And here's what really happens. Most people die. Yeah, most people die. I'm not sure if I've got this actual statistic in here. Let's just have a quick look. No, I don't have it in there. Okay. But this is what society taught you. I'll just tell you this statistic now. It's that people who retire, this is from a WebMD.com study, where medical doctors post their studies. So normally I've got a slide in, but I just don't have it in there now. And the study is called Early Retirement, Early Death. And what they found was people who retire at 55 are 89% more likely to die in the next 10 years. Okay, and of those people, the majority of them, 50% or more, die within the first 2 years. Now, how's that for retirement? Okay, even the word retire, get tired all over again. It's crazy, right? But, you know, 55 or older, then you've got an 89% chance of dying in the next 10 years if you retire. Those statistics don't hold up if you don't retire. But people who don't retire actually live longer. Yeah, and the people who don't die when they retire, what's the difference? Why don't they die? What they found is that the people who don't die have some kind of definite purpose for what they're going to do with the rest of their life. The people who die are the ones who don't know what they're going to do. They go, now I'm going to relax. Okay, so I've worked hard my whole life. Now I'm just going to chill out, sit on the lounge, eat potato chips, watch Ellen DeGeneres dance with everyone at the start of every show, and you know, drink a little bit too much, exercise. Who needs to exercise now? And the sedentary lifestyle puts people in the grave within 2 to 10 years. Pretty scary stuff. But this is what society taught you. Yeah? So you've got to ask yourself, is it possible that you were taught to fail, but you never saw the training? Yeah? If this is the path that most people are on, we've got these money mindset time bombs ticking away. We're going school job die. You know, just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy. You know all that stuff off the top of your head. Is it possible that you were taught to fail, but you never saw the training? What I mean by that is that you had these things implanted, conditioned into you outside of your subconscious awareness at an age before you were able to consciously decide if you were going to take it on or not. I'm going to tell you that the unequivocal answer is absolutely yes. It's pretty scary. When I was researching and writing my book, 7-Minute Mindset, which is about how to eliminate fear, procrastination, and failure in 7 minutes or less, I found that there were 7 habits of failure that people who fail have these in common. Yeah, and it's so common that I codified it into a system, turned it into an acronym for the word failure to make it easy to remember. Because when it's easy to remember, it's easy to apply. When it's easy to apply, they're easy to eliminate, right, and get results. So the first habit of failure is fear. I'm not going to go through these in a large amount of detail. I've got other webinars when I do that, or my book. Yeah, you can get a copy of my book on Amazon for, I think, like $21 at the moment or something like that. Fear is the most powerful and most limiting human emotion all at the same time. If you've got fear around money, then it's absolutely going to hold you back, because fear's purpose is to, like evolutionarily speaking, is to stop you dying, okay? So if you have fear around money, your body is going to react as if the situation that you're talking about around money is going to kill you, and you will not take action on that thing, okay? The second habit of failure is what I call attention displacement, which means your attention is not in the right place. Displaced means in the wrong place, okay? So what's an example? Let's say you're running a business and you need to be doing some marketing, or even, you know, doing your tax records or something along those lines, and instead you're playing on Facebook, yeah? Or you want to do some exercise, but instead you go, I'll just go and make a cup of tea first, yeah? Or whatever it happens to be. When your attention's on the wrong thing at the wrong time, then I call that attention displacement. Big, big habit of failure. Third habit of failure, I stands for indecision. It's been proven that successful people make decisions quickly and then don't second guess themselves. They change their minds very, very slowly, okay? Unsuccessful people have been shown to be incredibly indecisive. They take a long time to make decisions, and then once they've made a decision, they second guess themselves rapidly and change their minds very, very quickly. So indecision is a big habit of failure. Flowing on from that, L is lack of action. So even if you have no fear, your attention's on the right thing at the right time, you made a decision to do something, and then you never actually get off your backside and take action, you're still going to fail. U stands for unrealistic expectations. All right, so this is any expectation that sets you up for a fall, effectively. I like talking about the DVD, The Secret. You know, there's a scene, I don't know if you've seen it or not, it's entertaining, but kind of fluff mostly. There's a scene in The Secret where there's literally, I'm just going to have a quick sip of my water here. Hold on a second, please. Okay. Recording marketing videos all afternoon and talking fast and loud into the camera. Okay, thanks for that. Unrealistic expectations, right? The Secret. There's a scene in that movie where one of the guys says, if all you're getting is bills appearing in the mail, just turn your thoughts and your attention to checks appearing in the mail, because that's what I did. And at first I was having bills appearing in the mail, so I just started imagining checks appearing in the mail, and all of a sudden that's what started happening. I saw that and I said, that is absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish, right? That is setting people up for a big, big fall, yeah? And that DVD sold like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of DVDs. Absolutely shocking. Now, the problem is that when the expectation isn't met, people don't go, well, maybe that information was no good. What they do is they personalize it. This is a human kind of flaw, I suppose. We personalize it and say, I can't do it, I'm no good, I'll never get there, I'm a fraud, I can't make this work, and on and on and on. When really, we should turn our attention to what we were taught and say, well, was this actually valid, or was this person kind of full of rubbish, and does this work at all for anyone? Yeah. R is for repeating patterns. This is anything mental, emotional, or physical that happens over and over again that slows you down, holds you back, or gets in the way of you achieving the goals that you want at the level that you want to achieve them. All right. And E is external negative influences, which is anything outside of you that slows you down, holds you back, gets in your way of you achieving what you want to achieve at the level that you want to achieve it at. All right. These are the 7 habits of failure. I go into those in massive amount of detail in my book, 7-Minute Mindset, including how to overcome every single one of them. And, pardon me, what's really interesting about these 7 habits of failure is I found it takes only one of these to completely derail your plans and sabotage your chances of being successful. All right, just one. So if you have even one of them going on now in the area of money, the context of money, you need to get that sorted out really, really quickly, because it will absolutely sabotage your financial future. On the flip side, right, we can talk about quantum leaping your mindset. What's a quantum leap? The quantum leap is someone said, what if you have all 7? If you have all 7, you are in very real danger and basically desperate need of the help of someone who does what I do. It doesn't have to be me, could be anyone else, but you know, you need some help. I'll tell you, you know, I'm going to show you what to do about these kind of things as we continue. So the first step would be don't go anywhere, okay? Hang around. But if you've got all 7, you definitely want to pay attention, especially to this next part. So we're going to quantum leap your mindset. A quantum leap is where you go instantly from one place to another. Yeah, that's a very basic explanation, but it's the opposite of the step-by-step over time, like we talked about at the start. Money mindset time bomb number 8 was that even if you want to change these things, the only way you know how is gradual step-by-step process over time. That's the opposite of a mindset quantum leap. Okay, that's what I help people do. I help people quantum leap their mindset in the mindset parts of my business. All right. On the flip side of failure, what's the opposite of failure? It's success. Yeah. So when writing 7-Minute Mindset, I didn't only study people who were dramatic failures in their life. I studied also people who were massively successful. And what I found is there were also 7 things that successful people do and all have in common that allows them to become massively successful. And remembering that it takes only one of the habits of failure to sabotage your success, you need all 7 of the 7 habits of success to become and remain successful. So first, we have strategic mindset planning. Okay? Strategic planning is at the start of anything that you want to get right, whether it be life or business. You need to make a strategic plan. Strategic mindset planning is about understanding how your mind, your neurology, and your emotions work together to create the results that you get in your life. All right? Once you understand that, you can identify the things that are in your way, the subconscious mental roadblocks, the limiting beliefs, and other things like that that are holding you back, so you can make a plan to get rid of them. Which brings us to you, the letter U, that is. Successful people all have learned how to unlearn. Yeah? So unlearning is about getting rid of the things that are not serving you, the things that are in your way, slowing you down, and holding you back. After unlearning comes comfort rezoning. So comfort rezoning is where we take your comfort zone and we expand it and make it larger. Your comfort zone, the simplest definition that I've ever come up with is the limit to which you'll allow yourself to go. So if you think, just grab a piece of paper, all right, and I want you to draw a very simple line going up and down the page about, I don't know, 3 to 5 centimeters high. Okay, so just a 3 to 5 centimeter line up and down. I'm going to assume you've done that. Down the bottom, I want you to write down the lowest amount of money you are prepared to accept. Okay, and if you don't know what that is, I'd ask you, or kind of challenge you, to be real with yourself and write the number that is the lowest monthly income that you get, that you receive. All right, so write that number down. And then once you know that number, at the top of the line, I want you to write down not what you want, but write down the highest amount of money you've ever earned, but from all sources, in a month. Okay? So let's say down the bottom you've got $1,000, and at the top you've got, I don't know, $8,000. What that means is your comfort zone is a $7,000 money channel. Talking about finances, okay? If 7 grand is the highest subconsciously you've ever allowed yourself to go, then that is your glass ceiling with money, okay? When you get close to 7,000, you go 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7. If you haven't resolved the subconscious blockages that are keeping you with 7 as the glass ceiling, you will actually subconsciously sabotage yourself so that you can go back to a number that is more comfortable with you, which is probably 4.5, 5, 5.5, okay? If you really, pick something subconsciously that's going to sabotage, then you'll blow a bunch of money and you'll end up down the bottom end of the channel. Okay, so maybe you'll be down around $2,000 or $1,000 or whatever the top and bottom is for you. I'm sure you're understanding this analogy. It's someone's just typed in, Alex typed in, so true. Yeah, it really is, right? So what we want to do is we want to raise both of those lines in your channel. We want to make your lowest number higher. Okay, so that your bottom number is like 5, 10, 20 grand, who knows, whatever is appropriate, and your top number raises as well. Okay, so ideally you want those two numbers to be quite close. So let's say that you wanted $100,000 a month for a monthly income. You'd want that. It's fine if that's your top number in the channel, but if your bottom is still $1,000 a month, then you don't want to be going 100 grand a month and then $1,000 a month for the next 10 months and then $100 a month. 100,000 a month, right? Even though you could live on that, it'd really suck. What you want to do is raise both numbers so that if the top's 100,000, then the bottom is maybe 80, yeah, 75, 80, 90,000. All right, so you feeling that concept, right? We need to be able to rezone your comfort zone so you can do that. Next, we have consistent action. This is the opposite of lack of action from the 7 habits of failure. Now, logically, the opposite of lack of action is action. But I'm saying it's consistent action, okay? Not just action, because action alone isn't enough. If you take action one time, like if we say, everyone knows, let me ask you this question. Who should you pay first anytime you get paid? Who should you pay first? Go ahead and type the answer in. Who should you pay first? So Ray says God, Alex says me, everyone else says me. Alex says never happens. Yep. So in this example, I'm going to say that the answer is you, okay, yourself, for our purposes. Brian says, should be self, but never is. Jill says me. Yep, okay, so we're getting loads of answers. In general, we're just going to accept that it's yourself, right? Should pay yourself first. Now, let's say that you do that one time. If you've done that at least once in your life, you got some money and you paid yourself first, type yes into the box for me. Yeah, so pretty much everyone's typing in yes, okay? I'm assuming I think it's everyone, it's kind of lost count. So loads of people saying yes, I've done that at least once. So you have done the opposite of lack of action. You have taken action. But if you don't do that consistently and always pay yourself first, then it's never really going to get you anywhere. Doing something once is usually not enough to generate an ongoing result. E stands for entrepreneurial thinking. How do entrepreneurs think? They think in terms of value, okay? They think in terms of value, specifically value exchange, which is how much value am I bringing to this situation? Am I delivering here, right? How much value am I giving to the other person? And what is the value exchange? What is the return on that value? What value am I receiving as a result of what I'm giving? This is another cross-contextually true concept. If you take the idea of delivering value and apply it to your relationships, to your health, to your friendships, to your career, to your business, to your study, whatever it happens to be, your spiritual, religious practices, it's incredible the shifts that start to happen, right? So massive habit of successful people is they think the way entrepreneurs think, which is about value exchange. Next, we have selective focus, which is the opposite of attention displacement. So if attention displacement is coming at problems with a shotgun, where you pull the trigger and then there's bullet marks, shot marks in like a big circle, a big radius all over the place, and it's differentiated and not focused. Selective focus is like coming at the same problem with a sniper rifle. Okay, so with a sniper rifle, if you know how to use it, you can shoot the flame off a candle from a kilometre away. All right, and that is massive focus. That's how you want to be coming at your problems and your goals. All right, that's how successful people think. It's how they act, and a big habit of success. And then finally, we have self-belief. Even if you have the best plan, you've unlearned your limitations, you've grown your comfort zone, you take consistent action, you think in terms of value, and you focus selectively on what you want. If you don't believe that you deserve it, that you're not a fraud, that you are worthy of having the wealth and the success that you want, you will still find ways to subconsciously sabotage. You need all 7 of these, okay? So out of those, which one is most missing? Which one do you most want to focus on in your own life? Go ahead and type that in for me now. I muted myself out and started talking because I'm a genius. Now I've unmuted myself. Getting a range of answers here. We've got 7, self-belief, unlearning, consistent action, self-belief, selective focus, self-belief, selective focus, entrepreneurial thinking, and self-belief. So I'd have to say 2/3 of the answers that I've read so far are self-belief. Okay, it's really big for a large number of people. It seems to be what we're looking at there. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for the interaction. So here's what we're going to cover. I'm going to, we're still kind of doing intro here. We've been going for 55 minutes and we've got so much content to go through. That's why I'm talking fast. I'm going to show you the 7 essential skills of the success blueprint to address each of these problems. Proven mindset system you can follow to master your mindset and practically guarantee your success. Real life examples of other people just like you who've achieved massive results and how to access a proven system and install it in your life so you can get results even faster. Let's go through these one at a time, okay? One at a time. Time bomb number 1, you have no idea how money and your mindset really work or how to control them. Just before I get into the content in each of these one by one, I just want to check in for value, okay? So I'm an entrepreneur, I think in terms of value exchange. How am I doing in terms of value per minute here? Do you feel like this has been a good use of your time so far? You've learned something worthwhile already before we even get through the time bombs. Sam says it's great. Alex is good. Yes, says Ray. Yes. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yes, great value. Awesome. You guys rock. Okay, so time bomb number one, no idea how money in your mindset really work or how to control them. And to demonstrate that, I'm going to pull what I've found to be the 10 biggest limiting beliefs out of the money mindset survey. Okay, not all of these will apply directly to you, but I'd be surprised if you don't have at least one, two or three, maybe even more going on right now. So number one, I don't feel good enough to be rich. Okay, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of these. Just want you to notice. Just want you to notice how many of them you've got going on. All right. So you know how you can do like 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and you put a slash through them to get 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and a slash to get 10. Just tally up how many of these you've got going on, and then we'll discuss it afterwards. So number one, I don't feel good enough to be rich. Biggest limiting belief number 2, if I get rich, there are certain people in my life who won't like it or me. You can see how that would really hold people back from really going for their financial goals and dreams. Number 3, these are in no particular order, by the way, okay? If I really strive for wealth and I don't succeed, I'll feel like a failure. And that fear of failure stops people from taking even the first step. I know I have the potential for wealth, all I need is a break. Now what this is looking to external circumstances to give you permission to step up and go for what you want. All right. Number 5, trying to earn money is a hassle and a struggle. Trying to earn money is a hassle and a struggle. Now, I agree with that. I don't want to earn money, okay? Earn connotes to work. What I want to do is attract money, okay? And what's attractive? Magnets are attractive, aren't they? You can make yourself magnetically attractive to the right kind of person and solve their problems in such a way that it makes more sense to throw money at you than it does to keep it in their wallet. Then you are no longer earning money, you are magnetically attractive to money. And that's what I'm interested in. Limiting belief number 6 is it takes money to make money. It's not true, yeah? Absolutely not true. Limiting belief number 7 is if success comes easily, it's not as worthwhile. Number 8, I'm a good giver, but not a good receiver. My goodness, this is so common. This one is ridiculously common. Number 9, once I have a lot of money, I'll finally feel secure. This is a fallacy that a lot of people believe, okay, because Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, famously said once there's only 2 types of money problems, the problem of not enough money and the problem of too much money. Yeah? So just decide which problem you want to have. I think that's really fantastic because what he's saying there is something that a good friend of mine, Andrew Grant, multi-millionaire internet marketer, said once, is you don't have, someone said to him, I want to get rich so I don't have to worry about money anymore. And Andrew's response was, you don't have to worry about money now, you just have to manage it. And what makes you think that if you're making $1 million a year instead of $50,000 a year, that you won't have to manage that $1 million, right? You never have to worry about money, but it always has to be managed, okay? And the idea that you'll feel secure is a fallacy. You may not necessarily feel secure, right? You might have some more financial security, but because it always needs to be managed, that feeling of security is highly unlikely to be the feeling that you have, okay? A lot of people, if they don't have their mindset sorted, actually feel fear of loss the more money that they have. And finally, by being rich, I'll prove myself. If that's your motivation, that's cool. That helps some people succeed. It doesn't help most people succeed. Now, if you've been tallying those up, what I want you to do is just type the number in that it adds up to, okay? So if you've got 7, type 7. If you've got all 10, type 10, just so I get a rough idea. Okay, so first off, the first out of the gates is Sam. We've got 4, 7 for Paul, 3 for the other Paul, 4 for Alex, 5 for Brian, 3 for Ray, 2 for Marianne. Okay, cool. So some of us have more than others. That's totally fine. We're all human, like I said. No one's typed in 0 so far. Yep, had a feeling that'd be the case. Okay. So why does this happen? Where do beliefs come from? I want to share with you guys something that I call the reality filter, okay? Give me just one moment here and then we'll continue. Thanks a lot for that. My wife and kids just got back from the beach, which is about 3 hours away. Just wanted to say hello. Okay, so the reality filter. every single second, your 5 perceptual senses are being bombarded with sensory perceptual information. They're being bombarded, so your sense of sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, with 10 billion, with a B, right? 10 billion individual bits of sensory perceptual information, which is too much for you to be able to handle at a conscious level. So what we do is we filter those through our subconscious mind. And the filters that we use are your beliefs, which is what you've decided is true about the world, your values, which is what's important to you, your habits, behaviors that have become automatic over time, your identity, which are the beliefs and values around who you are and how you fit in the world, your memories. Listen to this explanation. Right? This is an explanation from science. Your memories are your best guess of what might have happened in the past. I love that explanation. That is accurate. That's why eyewitness testimony is not really accepted as evidence in trials anymore, okay, because memory is unreliable. Your capabilities, which is the level to which you've developed your skills that you're able to perform, and your conditioning, which is the programming that was put into your mind. Some of it you're born with, and others is programmed in at an age before you're able to consciously get that stuff out of your head, or more appropriately, before you're able to consciously decide whether or not you want to take that on or not. Okay. After we filter the 10 billion individual bits of information, we're left with, depending on the study that you look at, roughly 134 individual bits of information, which is a massive amount of information left out on the table. Okay. What happens then, second by second, is you instantly use the dictionary in your mind to place a meaning on your filtered perceptions. At a very basic level, the meaning that you place is good or bad, right? You give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The meaning that you place on your filtered perceptions, there's two types, right? Two types of decisions that you make. The first one is called a cause and effect. We say A causes B, all right? So something like you have to work hard to make money. All right? That'd be a cause and effect unconscious decision. The second is what's called a complex equivalence, where we say A equals B. Something like getting rich is mainly a matter of luck, right? So wealth equals luck, okay? Depending on which decision you make and the meaning that you put, positive or negative, that directly produces your emotional state. Your emotions are inextricably linked to your physiology, which means your body cannot lie, all right? Your emotions always show up and leak through your body language. So therefore, you can determine someone's emotions from their behavior, all right? And your behavior, which is how you act second by second, directly produces your results. Now, where this gets really, really interesting is that your results are then perceived by you, okay? This is called a self-perpetuating feedback loop, all right? Self-perpetuating feedback loop in psychology. It's commonly known as a self-fulfilling prophecy, okay? So let's say that you have a belief that you have to work hard to make money. You will selectively filter your perceptions to find the bits of your experience that reinforce that for you. You'll then put a meaning on it, which is probably negative, all right? It sucks that you have to work hard to make money. That'll reinforce the subconscious decision you've made. A leads to B, you have to work hard to make money. Hard work equals money. The only way to get more money, therefore, is to work harder, all right? Your emotional state will be unresourceful as a result, because, I mean, who wants to work hard to make money? You won't feel good about it. That'll show up in your behaviors. You won't be producing behavior that allows you to make money without working hard. Therefore, your results will be, I make the amount of money dependent on how hard I work, all right? You will then perceive that, yep, I was correct, or as I like to say, I told me so, okay? So you will perceive your own results. You go, I told me so. And then you will filter those perceptions to reinforce your pre-existing beliefs that you have to work hard to make money, and around we go, okay? Now, I don't know about you, but I think that sucks. What I did when I first uncovered this information is I changed that exact belief, have to work hard to make money. My dad was in the police force, right? Actually, they don't call it force anymore because it's a negative connotation. Now it's the police service. Yeah, it used to be called the force. My dad was a cop, and he very much had the have to work hard to make money thing going on in his mind. He passed it on to me. I spent the greater part of my teenage years installing in-ground pools by hand with a shovel and doing gas fitting, like laying gas pipes in the ground and then covering them over with a shovel, again, digging big holes all the time. So great for fitness, and what I learned was I have to work hard to make money, okay? I have changed that belief using the 7-minute mind shift techniques that I kind of pioneered. I've changed that belief to go from I have to work hard to make money to now it is the less I work, the more I make. Now think about what would change in your life if you had a belief like that rattling around your subconscious mind instead of I have to work hard to make money. Yeah. Let's go ahead and type something in for me. How would life be different if you believed deeply at an unconscious level, the less I work, the more money I make? How would that change your life to be able to do something like that, okay? Be able to change your mindset like that. Marianne says, time free. Absolutely. It's freedom. It's incredible. It's pretty cool, says Sam. That'd be amazing, says Ray. It'd be massive, says Paul. That's right. We'll probably get other answers coming in, but we need to keep going anyway. Take a lot of pressure off, says, I don't know who that is. That name never shows up. Cool. The good news is you can change any part of this. Alex says, more time and freedom to do hobbies, holidays, have fun, and relax. Yep, absolutely. You can change any part of this. Yeah? We have 7-minute mindset techniques that shift every single part of this. If you want to change your belief, we have a technique to do that. A 7-minute technique. Yeah. You want to change your values, we have a technique to do that. You need to change your habits and install a new habit, new behavior. We have a technique to do that. You want to change your identity, we have a technique to do that. You want to become capable of more, techniques to do that. You want to remove negative conditioning, we can absolutely do that, and install new conditioning, we can do that. You want to change the meaning that you're putting on your filtered perceptions, we can do that. You want to fine-tune your filters, we can do that. You want to be able to release subconscious decisions that you made at an age before you were even consciously aware that you're making them. We have techniques to do that. You want to be able to take complete control of your emotions. Guess what? We have a technique for that. We actually have dozens of techniques for that. You want to change your behaviors effortlessly and install new behaviors? We have a technique for that. This is so awesome, right? Like this is what I've created in 7-minute mindset system, okay? So I think of this like Lego. If you build a house out of Lego blocks and that house is made out of red Lego blocks, but one of them's green, then you just take the green block out and put a red block in its place and then it's fixed. You don't, have a massive emotional reaction about it. You just do what needs to be done. That's the same thing here. If the belief is that it should be green, but it's red, we just take the red one out and put a green one in place. It's really not hard once you know how to do it, and the techniques take 7 minutes or less. Very, very awesome. And what happens when you do that is all of a sudden you believe the less I work, the more I make. The meaning that you put on that is that's fantastic, all right? That's an awesome cause and effect belief because the less I work causes more money to come in. You feel really good about it. You produce awesome results, all right, which you then perceive and you go, I told me so. And then you believe it even stronger. You work less, you make more money, and around we go. Fantastic. You see, your reality is imaginary. Every second you perceive 10 billion bits of information, but you can't consciously focus on it all. So you filter it down to 134 bits, and then you actually group those into 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information, so it's even easier to comprehend. And if you were to do the maths on that, what you're focusing on second by second and calling reality is actually 0.000000134% of reality. But then you will fight to the death over it and say, this is real, okay? So right now, this very second, you are perceiving 1/1,000,000 of 1% of reality. So my question for you is what might happen if you change where you focus in the area of wealth and finances, okay? So when it comes to money, if you change where you focus at a subconscious level, what might happen to your life? Time bomb number 2 is you have intense fear when it comes to money, risk and failure, and often success. There are 3 telltale signs that your beliefs about money are broken. And here's what they are. Number 1 is that you have fear at all. All right. If you have any fear around money, making money, work, business, wealth, investing, losing it, whatever it is, if you have fear, that's a big, big sign that your beliefs about money are broken. Number two is that you're in debt. Okay, if you've got debt hanging over your head, you haven't been able to clear it no matter what you do, that's definitely telling us that your beliefs about money are broken. And number three is that your income is all active, not passive. Okay, all active, not passive. To give you kind of an example, I don't say any of this stuff to brag, just to kind of let you know what's happening for us, you know, is I've got 2 coaching programs. I've got one called Mindset Mastery. I've got another one called Leap, Lifestyle Entrepreneur Accelerator Program, and a bunch of products that we sell online. And my wife, Alex, sells products online. We've both written books. She's running a big, she's got a company called International Dance Centre, and she's running an event called the International Ballet Workshop next year, where she's bringing an expert from the Paris Opera Ballet, most prestigious dance company in the world, out to Australia and New Zealand for a 3-week teaching tour. She's going to clear about between $40,000 and $60,000 for that, and she's literally sent a couple of emails. Yeah? She's making at least $1,000 a day right now by sending, you know, an email every 2 or 3 days. We wake up every morning with more money in the bank account than when we went to sleep. It's totally awesome. Yeah. For me, I coach all of my clients in 4 hours or less per month, all of them. Okay, and they love it. They get great results. Works for them, works for me. And I actually do things like run live seminars so I can get to meet some of them face to face. Like there's members in my coaching programs who are on the call right now. I haven't even met them face to face. So I can't wait to. I love meeting people face to face. The leverage of delivering a program like that and having that that passive residual income every single month, you know, that someone joins me and then that money keeps coming in for a year or more is just, it's a magic situation. It takes the pressure off, and it allows me to focus on delivering outstanding value to my clients. Yeah. So my beliefs about money aren't broken. Hopefully yours are getting less broken as we continue. Let's talk about changing this, right? Obviously, if you've got these 3 telltale signs that your beliefs about money are broken, then you want to change. There's 2 types of change, right? Humans are motivated by pain and pleasure. We want to get away from pain. We want to move towards pleasure. Going from pain to pleasure is too big of a jump for most people. So I suggest a 2-step process. If you're in pain right now, like you've got debt, you've got active income and fear, then you want to go from pain to no pain. I call that remedial change. This is where we actually get in there and fix problems, okay? Physical and subconscious mental, emotional problems. Once you've reached the point of no pain, then we can start looking at getting you to a pleasurable situation. And that's called generative change, right? Going from no pain to pleasure. And generative change is where you achieve goals. So for most people, when they're in pain, they want to get to pleasure. They go, oh, I just want to, you know, I'm making $1,000 a month and I want to make $100,000 a month. That leap is too big for most people, I'm afraid to say, okay? What you want to do is do it stepwise. First, generate $5,000 a month, then 10, then double it, 20, 40, 80. You hit $84,000 a month, you're making over $1 million a year, okay? So you're doing really well and making tons of money and feeling really good. But you can't make that jump from 1,000 to 1 million for most people. It's just too big. So we need to do it stepwise, okay? Step by step. Here's one of my clients. Actually, don't coach this lady anymore. She's living in, I think she's in Amsterdam or something. I had a Facebook chat with her the other day. It's not going to say Amsterdam because I haven't updated this slide, but this is Camilla. She had an issue around money and weight. Every time she started making money, she'd put on weight. And when she'd lose the weight, she'd go broke because her mum was like an international supermodel who was stick thin and relied on her husband for all the money. And she passed on to Camilla that making money is not ladylike. All right? That was her subconscious limiting belief. As a result, she was deep in debt and fearing bankruptcy when I first started working with her. She used to be a mortgage broker and created a business called Money Mastery for Women, but she had time bomb number 7 going on. If you remember what that is, it's I feel like a fraud, all right? Of course you would. You're fearing bankruptcy and deep in debt and you want to teach women about money mastery. It doesn't feel very aligned, right? So what we did is resolve the subconscious stuff first and took her from nearly broke, right, to 40 grand in a weekend. She ran a 2-day event. I showed her exactly how to do it, got her out of her own way, gave her the systems, taught her how to offer a coaching program, how to do it in an awesome, ethical way that makes people really excited to work with her. And she made $40,000 in a weekend. As a result, she went on to consult major banks in Australia and get her Money Mastery for Women program integrated into the schooling system. And she travelled to the US, started talking a TV show deal for Money Mastery for Women. And last I heard, she was living in London and flew her daughter over, set her up in an apartment down the road from her, and sent her to university. And now I think she's living in Amsterdam or something. So it totally changed Camilla's life. Totally awesome, right? Time bomb number 3 is you're stuck working 9 to 5 on someone else's dream, or worse, often, is 5 to 9 on your own. Now, before I keep going, I'm just going to do a quick value check-in again. How are we doing here? Just let me know quickly how you feel we're progressing. What's been most useful so far? That'd be great. Just give yourself 15 seconds to summarize in 1, 2, or 3 words what's been most valuable for you so far. So we've got Seeing I'm Not Alone, says Ray. Reviewing the Habits of Failure, says Sam. Failure and Success, says Brian. The mental blocks take many forms, says Marianne. Habits of Failure and Success. That I'm not broken. Yeah, I'm not, your name hasn't showed up who that is who says I'm not broken, but you're definitely not broken. You're not broken. All right, cool. I'm going to keep rocking on, but keep typing your answers in and I'll see how they go. Oh, that's MJ. Okay, cool. Awesome. Realise I need to go from pain to no pain first sellout habits. Yeah, trying to make a big leap straight to pleasure, and the bad habits put me back. We're going to talk about that. I call that failure gravity. We'll cover that in a little bit. And knowing that I can change my rotten programs, as you. Yes, you can. Cool. So let's talk about number 3. What's wrong with the 9 to 5 or the 5 to 9 model, and how to fix it? Okay. Here's some statistics from the 2011 census. We've got another one coming up next year, I believe. Okay, so this is the last census. In Australia, the average seasonally adjusted wages, right? So a full-time adult weekly earnings was $1,359, which means the average was $70,668, and that's for the quarter February to May 2011, and it was a 1.1% change on the last census results, which is just terrible. You know, census is done, I think, every 4 years. So if the average income has gone up 1.1% in that time, that sucks. Yeah. So what does it suck to be an employee? Well, you work for someone else. You got the highest tax rate and very, very few tax benefits. You can't write off things. You know. It works like this: you earn income, and then you get taxed on the income, and then you pay your bills and expenses with whatever's left, right? So you get what's left if there is any left. Okay, that absolutely sucks. The alternative is your own business. So in your own business, you work for yourself. You got a lower tax rate and more tax benefits. The process goes like this: you earn income, then you pay your bills and expenses. You therefore have a reduced taxable income, which you then pay tax on. So you pay less tax, right? And then you get what's left, if there's any left. Now, that's okay, but I think there's a better alternative. It's what I call a lifestyle business. Consider this. Traditional business is expensive to start, right? Lifestyle business, very inexpensive to start. Traditional business, you're locked to a location. Lifestyle business, you can work anywhere. Traditional business, typically you live near work, or you got to travel a lot to and from. Lifestyle business, you can live anywhere and travel for fun. My wife and our 2 kids, got a 4.5-year-old daughter and a 14-month-old son. We spent 7 weeks over June and July this year traveling around Europe and the UK. So we went to France. We went all over France. We went to Disneyland in Paris. We went to Lyon, Toulouse. We spent a week in the French Alps. We went to Italy for a week. We went to Scotland, went to Loch Ness, and did all that awesome stuff. Saw one of my heroes, Darren Brown, live on stage in Glasgow. It was just fantastic, yeah. And I was still coaching my clients while I was overseas. Usually, traditional business has one main offering, lifestyle business, multiple income streams. I already told you some of the income streams that Alexandra and I have built for our business. So I haven't gone through everything. But you know, you can have more than one because it's easy and fast and inexpensive to test things. Okay, and when you get a winner, you roll it out, and if not, it's only cost you a couple of $100 to find out if it's going to work. Traditional business, you get expensive staff and hassles. Lifestyle business, you can outsource to other countries and you get awesome university qualified staff for $2 to $5 an hour. Traditional business, often not profitable. Usually they go broke.
lifestyle business can be massively profitable. Traditional 40-hour work week or more, so 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. Lifestyle business, you can have a 4-hour work week or less. So you've got to stop and ask yourself, is this outside your comfort zone? So how comfortable are you with this? Okay, just type type yes or no for is this outside your comfort zone? All right. Go ahead and type your answer in really quick. Still got a little bit of information to get through. I want to get done in like 10 or 15 minutes. No, says Marianne. Fantastic. No, says someone else. Sam. No, says Ray. Very soon it'll be a reality for me, says Paul. Fantastic. No, says Gina. No, says Alex. Beautiful. That's great. If it's not outside your comfort zone, then you're in the right place. Give you guys another success story. This is some other clients of mine. This is Richard and Michelle. Don't have a photo of these guys here. I do in another presentation. I built this presentation like, I don't know, 18 months ago maybe, and haven't updated the pictures. So Richard, when I first met him, was a full-time lawyer working 80 hours a week. Okay, not only that, 80 hours a week with an hour-and-a-half commute each way, every single day, 5 or 6 days a week. Michelle, his wife, and their 7 kids. So Michelle was running 4 laundromats. All right, they're 4 laundromats on the Gold Coast in Queensland, and they had really bad marriage problems. They came to me because they were actually facing divorce. They came to my mindset seminar called the Success Blueprint that I'm doing again at the end of January next year. 3 months later, after working with me, Michelle came back to one of my seminars and proudly stood up in the middle of me teaching something, just had to exclaim it and said that I fixed their marriage. Now, in reality, they did the work to fix their marriage. I'm more like a tour guide pointing out the bus window going, and on the right here, you'll see some blockages that you need to overcome. And oh, look, here's a technique that'll overcome them. You actually have to do the work for yourself, right? So these guys did the work. 3 months later, marriage fixed, still together and going strong. All right. Richard coached him to get a new job, still as a lawyer, working 3 days a week instead of 5 or 6, with the same money he was making before, 80 hours a week, and it was 15 minutes from home. So I talked to him afterwards. He almost cried on the phone because he was at the beach on a Tuesday morning with 5 of his 7 kids. Yeah. They really do have 7 kids, by the way. And Michelle, after 1 session, signed a new corporate client to their laundromat business. Okay, so they were focusing on backpackers, for like $5 a pop, and the Gold Coast is Hotel Central. I taught her how to go and sign up hotels to do their entire laundry for every single guest, all the rooms and all the linen and towels and stuff. They signed up 1 client and turned everything around. Absolutely awesome. Yeah. That's what happens when you get your mindset in the right way. Number 4, you have little to no savings and you probably won't have enough to retire on. And here's why. This is a little something that I created for Alexandra and myself, and true to style, I decided to share it with my clients. It's very, very simple. This shows where people spend their money. Now, there's 4 quadrants here. There's want to spend, have to spend, want to save, and have to save. This is where most people spend the majority of their money. They spend it in the top right-hand want to spend quadrant. So this is lifestyle, hobbies, toys, and dining out. Underneath that, we've got things you have to spend money on, which is expenses, mortgage, taxes, and insurances. There's probably other things, but that's the big ones for most people. And we have things that we want to save for, which includes for most people travel and major purchases. And then there's the have to save, which is investments and cash reserves. Now, what happens for most people is they might have the want to save part, if they're saving up to spend the money on something. But the majority of people don't have almost anything other than superannuation in the have to save, and that's because they don't have the choice, and the government makes their employer take it out and pay it into a super fund. Right? Everyone spends money on the have to spend, and most people blow what's left after the have to spend and maybe the $3 they put into the travel and major purchases. They blow the rest on the want to spend category. All right? So you need to determine your own percentages here, but I recommend that you put at least 10% into the have to save quadrant here, okay? So we talked about pay yourself first. This is where you pay yourself, right? You put money in there and then you don't spend it. And you've heard that all before, right? But this is just a really useful way of looking at it. And then we've got to look at, well, what do you need to change subconsciously to make it effortless for you to be able to do that? Okay, so why don't you save? You think about it. You go to the gym for months before you see results. Yeah? You diet for weeks before you see any weight coming off. And you have to save for months or years before you have enough to invest. The problem is time-delayed results. Humans are terrible at waiting for things, right? We're not good at delayed gratification. We prefer instant gratification, okay? Time-delayed results. There's a principle that I uncovered in physics and engineering called hysteresis. Now, I didn't create this or anything. This is an old Greek word, but I uncovered it when I was writing my book, 7-Minute Mindset. I've got a big chapter on this. It comes from the Greek word hysteresis, which means a shortcoming, yeah? Which comes from an earlier word, hysterene, hysterine, I can't pronounce it, which is to be late or fall short, which comes from an even older word, hysteros, which means a retardation of the effect when the forces acting upon a body are changed as if from viscosity or internal friction. That comes from that dictionary, all right? The important word here is internal friction. When you go to do something that you don't want to do, like save, you have to delay the gratification, brings up that internal friction, and that friction causes you to stop, all right? And then you don't do it. I call that failure gravity. Failure gravity is where it's harder to get change going than it is to sustain once it's in place. And a perfect example everyone can understand is a rocket taking off, so NASA fires a rocket up into space so someone can land on the moon. The effort required to achieve liftoff is much more than what's needed once it's in space. So there's something like 90% of the weight of that spacecraft is fuel. That's how much energy is required to get it to overcome the force of gravity until it can get out of the atmosphere, get up into space where there's zero gravity. And then once they're there, they have these tiny, tiny little boosters that if they need to turn right, they just do a little squirt on the one on the left-hand side of the rocket. They just go, psh, and then they turn effortlessly to the right. If they turn a little bit too much, they fire the one on the right to correct course. They go, psh, and then they turn back to the left. Yeah. Once you get the change going, the effort to sustain it is very, very minimal. Okay, and it's the same thing's true with saving and investing. Once you hit a critical threshold, it becomes ridiculously easy. But the failure gravity pulls you down until you get there. Right? The opposite of failure gravity and how you overcome failure gravity is through success velocity. And one of the best ways to do this is speed of implementation of new ideas. Even, for example, the ideas that I'm delivering tonight. You've learned something new. If you want to overcome your failure gravity, you need to grab any opportunity that you can to master your mindset and get into action as soon as we're finished, okay? Straight away, as soon as we're finished, make the commitment to yourself right now that you will master your mindset and take that opportunity by the hands as soon as we're finished and you just get into action, okay? That is the best way. That's success velocity. That's the best way to guarantee your results. It generates the ability to stick with it, all right, because the results are time delayed, but they do show up. Often, once you're there, it only takes a small effort to stay there. So time bomb number 5 is that you learned about money from people who didn't know what they were doing, so now you're struggling financially. And I'm going to demonstrate this to you practically, all right? When you were growing up, go ahead and type in the answer to this question. What was the main money issue as a kid in your house when you were growing up? Put that in other words. What were your parents saying to you and each other and themselves about money when you were a child? So we've got not enough and not regular, says Alex. Never enough, says Mary Ann. They were fighting a lot, says Sam. Not enough, says Paul. Everyone's saying not enough, yeah? No savings, all cash, says Alex. Dad controlled it all, said Ray. Yes, so Mum didn't get a say. We're comfortable. Yeah, comfort is another trap. You've got to work harder to make more money. Can't afford it. Struggle, says Paul. So don't waste it, says MJ. Notice there's not a lot of positive reinforcement coming in here. It's all fear of loss, lack, and kind of limiting beliefs. I mean, maybe they were realistic at the time. Not enough money, your father can't provide, says Rachel. stayed in the comfort zone, never tried to do better, says Alex. That's right. Now, this is one of the big reasons that you're in the financial situation that you're in. Up until around about age 7, you don't actually have the conscious filters in place in your subconscious mind to filter any of that stuff out. So it's hidden in there, it's insidious, right? It's like not seen, it's hidden in your subconscious mind, and those things fire off quite randomly when they're triggered at times when you would be going for what you want and achieving results, all right? So these things fire off, put you back in a pattern. Basically, they take you back to being a kid emotionally, and you react as you did back then because you haven't resolved these issues. Now, on the one hand, that sucks. On the other hand, you have the choice to change it if you want to. I can show you how. I've changed it in my own life. Like my dad, when he was in the police force, he was in the police force for 26 years. His maximum income was $53,000 a year. Okay, and that was after 26 years of service in the force. And I took that on, as an acupuncturist, which is my original job. I studied for 4 years at uni, did traditional Chinese medicine, set up a clinic, did it for 4 or 5 years, lived at home with my parents until I was 27 and never made over $16,000 a year, and then decided that sucks and I've had enough. So I mastered my mindset. I changed those beliefs and habits and behaviors. And very quickly, within 3 years, I went on to make $100,000 in a weekend. 2 months later, another 75 grand. Another month later, another 40,000, and then on and on and on. Yep. So we just kept making five figures monthly, over and over again, high 5 figures. Any time that we were at a seminar or event or something like that, and did that multiple times, never really stopped. And Alex says, I'm in exactly the same boat as them, despite telling myself I'd always do better. That is one of the most common things that I hear from people. Yeah, I didn't want to be like mum and dad, but now I'm in the same boat as them. All right. So that shows that you learned about money from people who didn't know what they were doing. It's not their fault either. They learned it from people who didn't know what they were doing, who learned it from people who didn't know what they were doing. And the result is, if you've got kids, you're doing your best, but unless you get it sorted, you're still passing it on to them. Yeah. One of the things that my wife Alex and I do is when you crack a $20 note and you get some coins, we give that to our daughter Amelia, and we hold her hand out. And before we give her the money, we ask a question. The question is, Amelia, who do you pay first? And she gets all excited and jumps up and goes, Amelia. Fantastic. So we give her the money. The next step, we'd go into the bedroom where the money box is, and before we'd make her hold the money above the money box, and before she could put it in, the next question we'd ask is, what do we do with our money? And she'd say, invest. Okay, invest. And we did this over and over again until she knew the answer. She was very small, like between 2 and 4. Well, she's 4.5 now. We still do it, but we started when she was about 2. The next question that we'd ask is, what do we invest in? Okay, and then we had multiple answers that we'd get. We'd say, what else? What else? What else? And these are the things that we are conditioning our daughter and soon our son to be thinking from a young age. They have anytime we go out, if they want to buy something, we don't say we can't afford it, which is not true anyway. We say, not now. Yeah, can I have X, Y, Z? No, darling, not today. Maybe next time or something like that. They've never heard we can't afford it, we don't have enough money, you have to work hard. We teach our kids things like the less you work, the more you make, and deliver outstanding value, and find a need and a want, and blah, blah, blah. All this awesome business stuff that I cover in my lead coaching program. Yep, I'm teaching all that stuff to my kids. It's fantastic. Yes. In terms of upgrading your mindset, I'm just going to throw a slightly outside the box example at you here, because one of the ways that you can upgrade your mindset is by finding people who are ridiculously successful in areas that you want to be, mapping their subconscious patterns and installing it directly into yourself. All right, so that you think, feel, and act like they do, and achieve the same class of results in a fraction of the time it took them to do it in the first place. Here's an example. One of my clients, a really good friend of mine now called Chantel. When I met Chantel, she was a life coacher and, in her words, a mad keen golfer. That's how Australians talk, hey Ray? She wanted to improve her golf game, all right, and I got her to rate herself before we did the technique that I'm about to talk to you about. And she gave herself a rating of 50%. And this was like 50% of what she'd considered to be the perfect golfer. What we did then is we mindset mapped pro golfers using a 7-minute mind shift technique that I created. And we installed those beliefs and unconscious habits in Chantel in 7 minutes, and immediately afterwards got her to rate her ability again. And she instantly felt that she was now at 80% perfect. So that's a massive jump, right? So that's cool. You could go, well, so she felt different, big deal. She lives in Perth, right? We did this in Sydney. She flew back to Perth. 2 weeks later, she played a round of golf and her handicap was down 3 strokes instantly, which is awesome, right? Actually, she couldn't play for a couple of weeks from memory because she worked for a big mining company as an accountant and had some big job on. And so it was about a month until she played again. Her handicap was down 3 strokes. I didn't even know what that meant. I had to ask another client of mine who was a golf professional, and he said it's fantastic. She shot a 2 over par, which is 12 strokes better than her handicap, which apparently is phenomenal. And she's getting coaching from a golf professional. And in the past, when she's learning a new golf strategy or swing or something like that, it'd take between 6 to 10 swings to be able to replicate what her trainer was showing her. And after what I did with her in 7 minutes, she could watch what he did and instantly replicate it. She then went on to win some awesome championship that she wanted to win, even with very little practice. And her golf professional, her coach, said, I have no idea what you've done, but keep doing it because it is phenomenal. I've never seen anything like it. Okay. Now, what would happen if you could do that in the area of wealth and finance? Find someone who is ridiculously successful in the area that you want to be successful. Mindset map their subconscious strategies for wealth creation and install it into your own mind so that you think, feel, and act like they do, so that you can produce the same class of results in a fraction of the time it took them to do it in the first place. And now I'm not saying that if you mindset mapped Richard Branson, for example, that you would become a billionaire. Yeah. But if as a result of doing that and installing his thoughts and beliefs and habits into your subconscious mind, you could make an extra $100,000 this year, would that be good enough? If the answer is yes, go ahead and type in yes. Yeah? So maybe you don't make an extra billion, but if you can make like an extra 100K, would that be good enough? Yeah, everyone's saying yes. What if you could make an extra 50, just 50 grand? Yeah, like 52, let's say, $1,000 a week, you know, would that still be good enough? Yes, 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 still got the yeses coming in. What if it was like 10 grand? You know, it takes you 7 minutes, flick a switch in your mind, and then you just effortlessly produce another $10,000 this year. Yeah? That's the kind of thing that I can help you do with mastering your mindset, all right? Very, very awesome. Money mindset time bomb number 6 is that you rely on debt because there's always more months at the end of your money, all right? So 3 questions for you. Number 1, what's your debt number, okay? If you know it, go ahead and type it in. No one else can see what you're typing in, only me, and I'm not going to share this with anyone, but go ahead and type that number in. What's your debt number? How much debt is hanging around right now? Okay, so I'm not even going to read these out, right? So we've got some numbers coming in. Thank you very much. The next question is, how long have you been carrying it around? Right? How long have you been carrying that around? You've got some wild variances in the numbers here, by the way. Some of them are small, some of them are massive. Wow. 2 years, 30 days, 5 to 10 years. Okay, cool. So loads of answers coming in. And finally, and kind of most importantly, how will you feel once it's clean? How will you feel once it's clean? So you get rid of this debt that's been carried around for, I mean, I'm seeing like 5 years, 10 years, 30 days, 8 years, loads of stuff here. Relief, freedom. Oh, I can't scroll anymore. What's going on? My mouse stopped working. I'm sure you're still answering. I just, oh, there we go. Woke up again. Good old Apple, never a problem, eh? Relief, freedom, freedom, at peace, relief, free. I feel great, great, surprised but amazing. Now I need to make more money. Okay, cool, awesome. So, remember, if you've got debt, it's one of the 3 telltale signs that your beliefs around money are, at the moment, a little bit broken. They're not working for you the way that they could be, okay? Success story, another one of my clients. This guy's named Stephen. Love this guy. He's awesome. So nice, right? Stephen is a father of 2 from Manchester in the UK. He's now Dr. Stevens. He's got his PhD in nutrition, okay? Wanted to create a fat loss coaching business. So I helped him name it. We called it Fat-Free Coaching, which I think is just a fantastic name. And you can see his tagline, using the latest scientifically proven techniques to help you become fat-free for good. He wrote a book called Fat-Free for Good, okay? And as a result, got featured on TV. In the UK, Channel 4 is a massive channel. They have a TV show called Food Hospital, okay? Did a lot of work with Steve. Ended up on Food Hospital, and as an expert, they went through his PhD research about fat loss, and he was on it for like 40 minutes. It's phenomenal. Yeah, he's got a copy of that. He puts it on his website, sends it to his clients. How good is that for expertise and authority building? You know, and as a result, you know, it's got a business you can run from anywhere in the world. Yeah, very, very cool. Another one of my clients is Rachel. Rachel's a mother of 4 from Tasmania in Australia. When I met her, she was a school teacher. I wanted to create a parenting coaching business. Yeah, done a lot of parenting training and master's research and stuff like that as a teacher around parenting. And she's got 4 kids, so she's definitely got hands-on experience. I named her business and her program Pain-Free Parenting. It's a very, very, very kind of cool name. She wrote a book that she called Parenting with Hope. I told her to call it Pain-Free Parenting, but her middle name was Hope, so she called it Parenting with Hope. I don't think it's actually as strong a title, but, you know, works for her. You've got to do what's right for you. So she wrote a book, got featured on a TV show called 60 Minutes as parenting expert here in Australia. Again, awesome for credibility. All these people had the same kind of mindset issues that you guys have been identifying as have been going through here. And these are the things that are possible for you when you get rid of them, okay? So number 7. Now we're up to number 7. You feel like a fraud, like you're somehow not good enough, and you don't believe that you really deserve it or that you'll ever really get there. Which ties in perfectly to number 8, which is if you want to change, the only way that you know how is gradual, step-by-step progress over time, which is slow, boring, and ineffective. So here's what slow, boring, and ineffective looks like, okay? Gradual, step-by-step progress over time. You go tiny little step by tiny little step by tiny little step. I call it the big, slow mindset change problem, okay? It sucks. What you want to do is the total opposite of that. We want to make a mindset quantum leap, right? Instant change, or we bypass the intermediate steps, right? So we don't go step by step anymore. We just get in, we find out what the problem is. In 7 minutes, we do the remedial change. If you need to, we go from pain to no pain. We go, bang, wipe out what that problem is. Then we go, right, the problem's gone. Now we want to go for some pleasure. So another 7-minute mind shift technique, and we go from no pain to pleasure. Bang, install that new belief, that new habit, that new behavior, that new way of thinking, feeling, acting, so that you can bypass the intermediate steps and instantly become the kind of person who's going to be capable of getting the results that you want to get. And I told you at the start, if you hang around, I'd show you a system that you can use to master your mindset, to go further, faster, and implement everything that we're teaching here and get these kind of results in your life. Is it okay if I just take a minute and tell you how you can actually do that? If the answer is yes, go ahead and type yes into the box for me, please. So yes, 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 all around. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Yes, please, says MJ. Thank you for your manners. That's much appreciated. I have a 4-year-old who are teaching manners right now, so I'm going to acknowledge that you said please. It's lovely. Thank you very much. So let's do it. What I found in all my years of doing this is there are 3 keys to success. So let's talk about them, right? 3 keys to success. Number 1 is speed of implementation. The faster that you put something into practice after you've learned it, the more likely you are to succeed, okay? So I've taught you a bunch of awesome stuff. I've helped to identify some of the blocks that are in your way and sabotaging your chances of success. And if you don't now take action on getting rid of those, you are basically condemning yourself to financial failure. Now, I know that's kind of a bit in your face, but really, we've arrived at that conclusion all the way along, that having these things in your mind are really just going to destroy your chances of getting where you want to go. And if you don't do something about it right now, you're telling yourself, I'm not worth having the kind of life that I want. Yeah. Otherwise, you will take action. And I asked you before to commit to taking action as soon as we finish the webinar. I absolutely want you to do that. The faster you take action, the more likely you are to succeed. Key to success number 2 is spaced repetition. So doing something once or twice isn't enough to make lasting changes in your life. You need multiple exposures over time. Remember, it's one of the principles, one of the habits of success is consistent action, right? Taking action just once, just twice, usually doesn't get you the results. You need to at least have multiple exposures to that information over time, right? You need support, you need guidance, and you need someone who can kick you in the bum when you're not doing what you need to do. And 3, third key to success is multiple sensory stimulation. The more senses you involve in learning and practice, the faster it sinks in, and therefore the faster you succeed, right? Because it becomes much more real for you if you're hitting more than one of your perceptual senses in the learning and practice of the information that we've just covered. Now, shocking fact, right? I've actually got a couple of shocking facts for you. Shocking fact number 1 is 95% of people do absolutely nothing with what they learn, which is crazy. You know, if you've already decided that you should take some action and then you don't, that's absolutely nuts. 95% of people do nothing with what they learn. You take a bunch of notes in a notebook, you go and put it on your shelf, and then you hope for what I call shelf development. Okay, shelf development gets you absolutely nowhere. You need to actually do something, take some action to develop yourself. Fact number 2 is that sucks. You know, 95% of people take no action. That just absolutely sucks. They're absolutely crazy to do that. Third fact, you want to be in the other 5%. Why wouldn't you want to be in the other 5%? It makes only sense. If you want to be in the other 5%, go ahead and type 5% into the chat box for me right now. So everyone is saying 5%. Okay. I'm going to give you the opportunity to prove that to yourself in a minute. If you typed in 5%, all right, you're going to have the opportunity to prove that you want to be in that 5% in just a moment. Okay, so make the decision right now. I'm going to prove to myself that I deserve to be in the 5%. So here's how you can be. I mentioned a couple of times, I've got a program called Mindset Mastery. Okay, this is a group coaching program. It's the only kind of program like this in the world. And even if there were other programs like this, this would still be the best in the world, because I created everything about this, right? You can't get this anywhere else. Here's how it works, 7-Minute Mindset Mastery. There's 4 components to this program. The first is a weekly multimedia mindset mastery e-class training, delivered by video. Very, very cool. The second is live monthly webinar with me, where I actually coach you to overcome any issue that you're dealing with. Aspect number 3 is a 3-day live workshop with me, okay, and actually some expert guest presenters that I bring on. And the 4th aspect is lifetime access to our private Facebook support group. We get daily support. So if you kind of look at this, with a Facebook support group, we get in there every day and answer questions, so there's daily support. You get weekly support with the video e-class training. You get monthly support with the coaching Q&A webinar, and you get yearly support with the 3-day live workshop. So we cover every possible time frame, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly in this program to make sure that you absolutely master your mindset. So member benefit number 1 is the 52 weekly video e-class trainings. How this works is these videos are full content trainings. There's no teasers, right? They're not sales sales videos where it's like teaser information and then, hey, buy this product or anything. It's full content trainings. They go for kind of between 3 and 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what I'm covering that week. All right? And there's challenge exercises and all kinds of awesome stuff to help you master your mindset consistently for a full 12 months. Step by step, fully guided by me. It's literally me standing there talking directly to you on the camera. And imagine having access to everything that I've learned over the past 17 years, actually probably closer to 21 years now, because I've been saying 17 years for a long time. And that includes things like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, psychology, influence, personal development, confidence, public speaking, money, health, weight loss, your emotions, body language, relationships, productivity, coaching, spirituality, and much, much more. Imagine having all of that laid out for you in detail every single week. What would that do for your life to be able to have that kind of high quality coaching every single week? It's built around the 3 pillars, right? Every person that I talk to when I bring on a new client, I ask them, what do you want? They tell me that they want 1, 2, or 3 of these things. They want to improve their wealth, right? They want to make more money and keep more of the money that they have. They want to improve their relationships, whether it be personal or business, and they want to improve their health, all right? Typically, it's either lose weight, get fitter, get into better shape, build muscle, detox, those kind of things, right? Health, wealth, and relationships. So in these weekly video e-classes, there's a detailed weekly video from me guiding you through the entire program. There are advanced mindset training videos unavailable anywhere else in the world, plus 30 custom-made mind shift meditation MP3s. And this is really important. I want to talk about this for a moment. Every single technique that I've talked about tonight, like we've got a technique for that. We've got a technique for that. You want to get rid of these limiting beliefs? We've got a technique for that. You want to improve, install new behaviors in 7 minutes or less? We've got a technique for that. This is what I'm talking about, the Mind Shift Meditation MP3s. These are custom-made hypnotic audios that I have personally recorded, where it's the next best thing to having me show up at your house anytime you've got a problem. Right? You can download these, stick them on your iPod or your MP3 player, and anytime a problem pops up in your life, you press play, and when the problem's gone, you press stop. Okay? So very, very awesome. They work in 7 minutes or less, every single one of them. We've got over 30, so you can handle 30 different types of problems. And there's not really more types of problems that you're going to come up against, and that absolutely smash any issue that you have. We also, for people who like to write and work through issues on paper, we have blockage clearing worksheets. And from memory, there's 19 of these in the program now. I counted them up earlier. 19 blockage clearing worksheets. Do the same thing as the MP3s, but you can sit down and actually work through it on a worksheet on paper. This is all available in the private members-only web center on our leapmembers.com website. Okay, so our Leap clients in our business coaching program have full access to this program, and the Mindset Mastery members have access to the Mindset Mastery content. You can't actually access the Leap content, but you can get the entire Mindset program in there. There's also a live monthly webinar with me. This is a live Q&A where you and I interact one-on-one on the weekly e-classes and anything else that you want to talk about. So you get my expert guidance on how to apply each lesson to your wealth, health, and your relationships. Plus, if you're struggling with an issue, you submit your question and I'll help you solve it on the spot. All right? So I cut straight to the heart of it, and I'll tell you what to do to wipe that problem out fast. Often I'll just help you do it on the spot, or I'll tell you which of the techniques you need to access to be able to get rid of that issue in 7 minutes or less. Very, very awesome. I record all of those webinars and put them in the vault, right? The Mindset Mastery webinar vault. And any notes that I take, I PDF and stick them under the video so you can download it and refer to it later. Very, very valuable. Now, this is really exciting. Once a year, we do a 3-day live members-only workshop. This is face-to-face with me for 3 full days. It's not open to the public because at this workshop, I reveal private, never-before-shared strategies, concepts, and tactics. And we break it down like this. Day 1 is a wealth blueprint, so we rewire your mindset for wealth. Day 2 is the health blueprint, where I reveal information that I only used to give to my private clients in my traditional Chinese medicine practice. It's very, very awesome and totally revolutionize your life. And day 3 is the relationships blueprint. We talk about how to revolutionize your relationships, create an instant connection with anyone you meet, cause them to feel like they've known you for years, and fall over every word that you say, and all kinds of awesome stuff like that. It's really cool. Completely revolutionize the 3 most important areas of your life: wealth, health, and relationships. Also bring in an expert speaker on each individual topic, 1 per day, and the rest of the time it's me. And it's recorded in case you can't make it live. Okay, if you, I'm going to put an offer on the screen in a moment for Mindset Mastery, and you're going to be blown away when you see what this is. So absolutely hang around, right? We've got like 3 minutes to go. This will blow your mind when you see what I'm going to do. and you'll be nuts not to do this because it'll make it so ridiculously appealing that it will take away any excuse that you have. We also have our private members-only Facebook group. It's a perfect place to network, connect, and get daily support. You can ask as many questions as you like, and I check the group once a day, and I'll personally answer your questions. Okay, so there's daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly support in the program. Absolutely can't lose. So here's what you get, right? The weekly multimedia mindset mastery e-class trainings with the videos, the MP3s, the worksheets, and that whole deal. Add all the individual components up, it's worth just over 10 grand. The live monthly webinar with me every single month for 12 months, $6,600. The 3-day live workshop with me, 2 tickets worth $4,997. Okay, even though we don't sell it to the public, if I did, that's what we'd be selling those tickets for. And the lifetime access to the private Facebook support group, well, that's priceless. How do you put a price on daily support from me, right? So if you add that up, the total value is $21,841. Your investment, by now you should be really, really excited about this, and by now you should be thinking, this is what I want to do, all right? So I'm going to remove every obstacle in your way right now, and you'll be blown away when you see what I do here. You can't get this anywhere else, all right? Normally, this program is $1,997 for the 12 months, or $197 a month if you want to cash flow it. As a webinar special, to thank you for showing up right now, I'm going to invite you to join me in this program for an extremely limited time. All right, you're going to have 24 hours to take me up on this offer, but I recommend you do it in the next 10 minutes, okay? You can join me by going to the link you see on the bottom of the screen. This is where we have the information page, howtobefearless.com/join7MMM. Your investment in this program is $1. Now that is a 30-day test drive. You can cancel any time in the first 30 days and you'll never be charged again. You can also ask for a refund of your $1 and I'll give you $1 back if you're unhappy with the program. After 30 days, if you choose to stay on, then you stay on at $197 a month, okay? So $1. That will also get you in to the Mindset Mastery Intensive Workshop, where I'll be working with you for 3 full days to revolutionize your wealth, health, and relationships. And all you will have invested to get there is $1, plus you got the webinar and the e-classes and the whole system on top. I've only recently decided to do this, and honestly, this is a test. I may never ever do this again, okay? So you really need to take action on this, and you'd be crazy not to. So what you do, go to the page and sign up. It's really easy. All the information is right there. It's $1. There's a 100% risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Either you love it, or I'll give you $1 back, right? I'll buy it back from you within 30 days, no questions asked. If you feel it's not right for you, if you don't enjoy your training, if you don't feel you're getting value, or you're unhappy for any other reason, and you want your $1 back, shoot me an email and I'll give you $1 back. Can't get any easier than that. And you also won't be charged with $197 a month anymore if you decide to cancel. So that's how it works. All right, howtobefearless.com/join7MMM. You get instant access, okay? Actually, the website doesn't look like this anymore, so I forgot to update the screenshot, but you still get instant access. The program is 100% automated for you to get in. Once you put your $1 in, within 5 minutes, you'll be in the actual website going through the content and making changes. You can download the audios and get into action. You've identified a bunch of roadblocks in your own mindset right now to creating massive wealth. You might as well get in right now, download the Mindshift meditations and start shifting them tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, remember, speed of implementation, instant access. This is what it looks like, right? So you get a digital copy of my book in there. There's the worksheets. There's the Mindshift meditations. There's all kinds of awesome stuff in there. There's a program called 7 Secrets of Accelerated Success. There's the audio of my entire NLP Master Practitioner training. That's the Success Blueprint, Emotional Mastery, Transformations, Influence Accelerator, Discovery Workshop, Creating Change, Mindset Upgrade. These are all 1, 2, or 3-day workshops. In my professional NLP Master Practitioner certification that I used to run, you get full access to the entire audio for all of them, okay? And it's still just $1. Ray's saying, I really don't know how you can afford to do this. It's a great deal. And there's also the Mindshift meditations down the bottom. Okay, I'm going to open up for questions in a minute. Just want to show you guys that. So you get instant access, you get instant results when you use this. My promise to you is this is literally, there's so much awesome stuff in here. This is the last mindset training you will ever need. Okay. Someone's saying, where do we start? You know, so much stuff in the members area. You start with the weekly video e-classes, okay? So you click on the section that says weekly e-classes and watch the first one. That's the best place to start. Then show up to the Mindset Mastery webinar and ask me questions, all right? Post in the Facebook group and come to the workshop. That's a fantastic 4-step action plan, okay? So howtobefearless.com/join7MMM. It's $1, right? The last mindset training you'll ever need. Remember your investment, $1, 30-day test drive. That's pretty much all you need to know about this. I've covered everything I can possibly think of. What I'm going to do is wrap up the content part of the webinar here. If you have any specific questions for me, what I want you to do is go ahead and type them in. So I can't see the name. I'm going to assume this might be MJ. I'm not sure. It always comes up blank. Someone's put a question in that says, and what day do you run the weekly webinar? The webinar is monthly. Just to be clear, there's a weekly video e-class. The videos are preloaded in the members area. And the webinar is monthly, and it's the 3rd Thursday of the month. Okay, 3rd Thursday of the month. Someone else says, thanks, Nick. Great refresher. You are very welcome. And someone else says, how do I force myself to do my tax returns? Okay. You need to link either the pain of not doing your tax returns or the pleasure you'll get once they're done. All right, that's the simple answer. Okay, the motivation. There's lots of other stuff that that's an awesome question. There's lots of other things that we can kind of cover around that. Something else that might be useful is there's a concept. This is from Rachel again, who asked that question. There's a concept called secondary gain, which means hidden benefit. And what I'd be asking myself if I was you is, what positive am I getting out of not doing my tax returns? And then you'll figure out what that is, right? And your next logical question is, how else can I have that need satisfied in a way that still allows me to do my tax returns, okay? So have a think about that, all right? So, the fact that these kind of questions are coming in means that you're in the right place. $1 for a 30-day test drive, it can't be beaten. Ray said, I've no idea how you can afford to do this. I can afford to do it because upgrading my own mindset has allowed me to make enough money where I can afford to do things like this. Yeah? So now, in terms of value exchange, it's not about giving back, it's about giving and receiving. I'm going to receive $1 and the opportunity to help another person. And if you find value, then you hang around. And if not, at least come to the workshop. And I'll take great pleasure in helping you smash through whatever you need to and revolutionize your wealth, health, and relationships when you join 7-Minute Mindset at that URL, howtobefearless.com/join7MMM. Any other questions coming through? Do we download the webinars when I have good internet access? I'm not sure what you mean by download the webinars. They're all available online as videos. The recordings of the webinars, and the actual webinars, we do them live, so you don't download them. You log in and you click the link, log in, and we interact live. Cool question. Alrighty, I'm not really seeing any other questions coming in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up the webinar right there. Thanks a lot for joining me. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys and lovely ladies. Someone says the workshop date doesn't suit. Any other options available? Yeah, we've got the workshop recorded already, so you can watch the recordings. It's 80% as good as being there, and the advantage is you can do that in your own time. We will do the workshop again next year, and if all you want to do is, if you can't come to the workshop, you might as well at least jump on at least one webinar during your 30-day $1 test drive and test me out for $1, get you a chance to get coached by me and go through the rest of the program. Remember that the workshop is, it's a really good question, Jenna. The workshop is only one part of the program, and you'll see when you get into the member site, there's actually a lot more to it, okay? And Ray says, remember to send the slides and the audio. I will do, my man, much appreciated. Probably send that out tomorrow, though, because I'm going to go and cuddle my wife on the lounge right now. I've got to convert the recording and all that good stuff. Cool. So, Jenna, I'll tell you, if you're asking that question, you're in the right place. Take a chance on $1, and if you don't like the program, just ask me for your $1 back, okay? Totally cool. No other questions coming through? All right, that's going to officially be it. Thank you very much. I really appreciated the interaction. Had a lot of fun on that webinar. Go to howtobefearless.com/join7MMM. For those of you who have taken action, welcome. And for those of you who haven't, not only are you crazy, but it's only $1, so get in there and check it out. And I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you all soon. We're going to be doing a lot of webinars. I plan to do at least one a fortnight because I really enjoy it, and I just like teaching. It's a really good way to sharpen my sword. Thanks for your time, much appreciated, says Jenna. Wonderful. All right, thank you very much. I can keep saying thank you all night, so I'm going to officially shut this down now. Thank you again for the last time. I really love that, and get out there and upgrade your mindset, master your mindset, and learn the secrets of subconscious wealth creation. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.